Happy holidays, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Wellness. I'm Marisa Maggio Harrelson. Of course, here's little Sunny, and I have Dr. Evelyn Cass, holistic veterinarian, on our show today. And and really, we want to talk about today the pets during the holidays, really keeping your pets healthy all the time, what you can do to really optimize their health, but especially during the holidays because there's a lot of food around, right? And there are a lot of different plants around. And so there are things that we need to know about. So, Dr. Evelyn Cass, the holistic veterinarian, petnutritiondoctor.com, is here to share some words of wisdom and some great tips for you to keep your little pet safe this holiday season. Right, Sunny? Hi, Evelyn. How are you?
Hi, Marisa. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yes.
It's great.
So good to
Yeah,
have you. So so tell me a little bit about what I heard like the other day. Keep avocado away from dogs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we feed our dogs avocado. Not a
right,
lot, but a little.
right. Avocado is one of those weird ones that ended up on the ASPCA website for as a toxic food. The reality is, it is, the leaves and the bark and even the fruit are very toxic to birds and to large animals. For dogs and cats, if you give too much, it can cause some stomach upset, but otherwise, it's really pretty benign. So, yeah, it's that's one of the ones that's really probably okay to feed. There's a few others that are on there too that are a little bit confusing. Garlic is one in particular that we hear it's so terribly toxic. The reality is that for most dogs, you have to give a whole lot before you're going to get that toxicity, either over the long term or all at once. But in small amounts, garlic is an amazing medicine for a lot of dogs. It's great for the heart. Obviously, it's got some antimicrobial activity. You want to do that with under the direction of a holistic veterinarian, but garlic is not the enemy. So just to kind of keep that in mind, people get really worried about a little bit of garlic in their food, and that's fine.
Well, even humans, garlic is actually very good. So
Yes.
medicine is or food is medicine or food is poison, right?
Right. And sometimes it's medicine in certain doses and you get too much and you'll get the side effects just like any kind of other medicine. So a lot of nuances in there, but a lot of good stuff. A lot of
Well,
good
what
stuff.
other things do we need to watch out for during this time of year?
Well, I happen to have some pictures if I can share
Yes,
those and
yes, I would
all
love
right.
that. So
Let
would
me
Sunny.
all right. Well, we got to do what Sunny wants.
The toothless wonder.
Yeah, there we go. So let's see. Oops. Now I lost it.
There we go. Holiday treats for pets or
Okay.
dangers for
So
pets.
these are the dangers. So these are the ones that we really want to be careful of. Xylitol is one that a lot of people don't know about. Xylitol is in toothpaste, it's in chewing gum. A lot of people use it as an artificial sweetener when they're baking. And for dogs, it can be deadly. And it doesn't take a whole lot. It causes their blood sugar to just drop really quickly, and it also affects the liver. So definitely want to stay away from anything with xylitol in it.
Well, he doesn't have any teeth, so we can't brush his teeth with this.
That's great.
I use On Guard. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah. And then things like grapes and raisins, a lot of people don't realize that's kind of a sporadic toxicity, but it can cause kidney failure in some dogs. And we don't really know what the agent is, but it's just something to stay away from. So
Well, how much would that, how many grapes would
that's the
hurt? Like,
thing.
let's say a Yorkie.
Yeah, this is one of those weird ones where you'll have people that tell you they've been feeding grapes for years and years and it doesn't cause any problems. So for some dogs it doesn't, and maybe it's the grapes and maybe it's a particular genetic issue with the dog. That's the thing, we don't really know. It could even be a mold that's growing on the grapes and raisins. We just don't know what the cause is. We just know that there's definitely some link with grapes and raisins and dogs, and so we just stay away, just as a safety.
And
Yeah.
raw dough.
Raw dough is interesting.
Who would give their dog raw dough?
Oh, well, sometimes they don't give it. You put it up on the
Oh,
counter to
yeah.
to rise,
That's true.
and some dogs will steal it. But what happens is it continues to expand in the stomach, but also that yeast is turning some of that sugar into alcohol. And some of these dogs get drunk because they absorb enough ethanol from the from the yeast. So
Oh,
it can cause a stomach obstruction, but it can also cause kind of drunkenness. So something people don't think about, but if you're people bake all the time and they might put that up on the counter just to rise and not realize that their sneaky little dog or big dog is getting up there and sneaking away with it. So you gotta be careful.
hmm.
Yeah.
And cooked bones.
Cooked bones, all kinds of bones. I know a lot of people will give their dogs those knuckle bones and all that, but if they're cooked, it makes them brittle. And
Mm.
when they're brittle, they can break off sharp pieces. And I can't tell you how many dogs I've either taken bones out of their intestine or out of the rectum and it's tearing.
Oh my
And these
goodness.
are often dogs that they've been eating bones all their lives, but it's that one time. So the raw bones, interestingly, don't splinter, and raw bones can be safer if your dog is used to eating raw food. If not, then get with somebody to help you transition. But no cooked bones. Period.
Okay.
So
Wow,
yeah,
those are great, absolutely great tips. Okay, here we go. Holiday dangers for pets in the
yep.
plant kingdom.
Yeah, so tinsel, not quite in the plant kingdom, but definitely that can cause obstructions. It's a string, and cats especially love to go after those shiny things. So any kind of a string type of decoration, be really careful. And the other thing to remember is tinsel is often made of plastic. It is not recyclable. It's not helpful for the environment. So let's try and find something that's a little bit more natural to decorate that's also safer for our pets. So I
Popcorn strings. I remember as a child, we would, it was so much fun. We would take thread and we would thread popcorn with
right,
cranberries.
right,
It was so pretty on the tree. And we
right.
got to
Now
eat
even that has the
popcorn.
string, but if you use something like a twine that's that's twisted, that's gonna fall apart a lot easier in the stomach. And it's still gonna be pretty and it's a great way to decorate. So it's safe and it's natural and um, so those are good ideas and they're lots of fun for the family to do together, right? It's a
Yes,
nice project.
absolutely. More togetherness is very important.
Especially now.
Mhm.
Especially now. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then lilies, they're gorgeous. I love them, but unfortunately, they are super toxic. Certain varieties are, almost all of them are toxic, but there's some reports that even the pollen coming off of the flower can be enough for a cat to go into kidney failure. So
My goodness.
it's not one you want around the house if you've got pets that like to roam around in the areas where the plants are, unfortunately. But they are beautiful. So that's one of those natural things that we have to be careful of.
Mhm. What about mistletoe?
So mistletoe and poinsettias are both irritating to the stomach. So your dog's not going to die from it, but you might be cleaning up a mess and they're not going to be feeling very good. So best to kind of keep those away.
The
Yeah.
watch, because these end up getting dry and leaves fall off and they fall off on the floor. I noticed have noticed that here at my house and
Right.
have to be
Right.
really careful.
And some dogs like to chew on whatever falls, or cats do too. Some of the, especially the kittens, they'll start munching on whatever they find, and so we just kind of have to be careful. But there
Okay.
are some things that we can share with our pets.
Yay.
Real whole food. Who would
Awesome.
have thunk,
We're
right?
there.
Yeah. So, give them the meat. And maybe hold off on the skin, but give them the meat, fresh fruits and veggies. The gravy kind of be a little bit cautious with. You don't want to give them too much fat if they're not used to it. But fresh whole foods are wonderful for our pets. I think that's one of the things that has been a challenge in terms of communicating with veterinarians and clients. We're so used to getting pet food from a bag.
Hmm.
We know that processed food is not good for us, but it's just become a habit. You go to the store, you grab a bag of food, and that's what you feed. But this is highly processed food, and just like with us, it's got a lot of issues with it. So just like with us, real whole food. That's kind of the best thing.
Well, I think that this segues really well into even a story about your dog and
Hmm.
how you were able to heal your dog through whole foods and yourself, right?
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to stop sharing here because I think we're done with this. But yeah, I mean, for myself and the way that I got into this, I was diagnosed in a span of 12 months with actually three different diseases, two autoimmune diseases and cancer. Um, and one of those autoimmune diseases was celiac disease. So that That's that gluten intolerance. But it's not just an intolerance, it causes damage to the gut lining, which is really 80% of your immune system is there. And so you end up with leaky gut, and leaky gut leads to more autoimmune diseases and cancer. And so that really was the whole thing that snowballed, but I didn't know it at the time. So it was a whole process of figuring out what I needed to do. But it definitely took me down that road of food as medicine. And, there's a great quote from, oh, I can't think of her name, but she says that food can be the most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison.
Mhm.
And for me, gluten was killing me, absolutely killing me. And so yeah, it kind of took me on that journey, and I found about a bunch of herbs that can really heal and help us rebalance our system. And then my cat decided that she needed to teach me a little bit more because, we're all basically herbivores and we do best on plant-based diets, but our cats are obligate carnivores. They need meat. So I had to really reshape my whole thought process when she ended up with inflammatory bowel disease and pancreatitis. And I ended up transitioning her. In her case, the dry kibble was literally killing her,
Mhm.
and I transitioned her over initially to canned. And anybody that's got cats knows how difficult it is to transition them with food if they don't want to. But she's now on freeze dried raw food, and that's it, with lots of water in it. And the dog has food allergies, and she's on a raw diet and freeze dried combination, and I give her veggies and supplements, all kinds of things to really keep them nice and healthy. But the cat is 17. I think you probably saw her just kind of sneak around. She's 17 years old and doing just great. So
That's beautiful.
yeah.
And you also supplement your dogs or your dog?
Yep. Yeah. So the dog and the cat both get, they actually get the human form, but this is the pet form of the pet tandem.
Mhm.
And this is a wonderful supplement to help rebalance the whole immune system, to help to detoxify and get rid of the oxidative stress, which is the basis for any kind of inflammation. Um, as I said, the dog has some food allergies. She's allergic to chicken. The pet tandem is flavored with chicken, and so it's a chewable treat, which makes it really nice for most dogs. But unfortunately, if you've got a dog with chicken allergy, you use the human formula. And so I share my Pro Tandem NRF2 with the dog and the cat every night.
Well, that's awesome. And you would give the cat like an 8?
Yeah, I give them each an eighth. The dog is about 10 pounds too. So they each get about an eighth of a pill, and they're both doing really well.
Ah, oh, I'm teasing him. This is empty now.
Oh no, he's
Oh,
upset with you.
I have to give you some after this segment. One a day helps keep hopefully issues away, right? Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because they have what talk a little bit about that. Dogs have about 7 times the amount of oxidative stress and what this can do to them.
Well, they talk about that aging faster, and um, what that means is that, yeah, maybe they have more oxidative stress, but it also means that when we slow that down, they respond faster than
Mhm.
we do. And so we get them on these supplements and we can see those changes so much quicker. And I've had people tell me, within a couple of weeks, they can really tell the difference. Whereas I know with people, sometimes it takes a few months before we can really see the big changes.
And what specific changes do you hear from others and also your own dog?
Yeah, so a lot of what I'm hearing is increased energy and just improved well-being.
Mhm.
Um, my patients have so many other issues. I'm dealing with kind of often the last resorts, unfortunately, and so we have to go slow. And I'm not going to say that I've had any miracle cures yet, but what I am seeing is that they're responding to treatment that much better, that much faster, and they just feel better. And so that's really what all people are looking for, right? They want their pets to be happy and enjoying life, and we all want to be less stressed about the whole thing.
And
So
there have been extraordinary stories, and that's
they're
incredible.
yeah,
Absolutely. So we love our little babies. We want them to be healthy. It's really important around the holidays too that we just are, I guess, a little more aware, right?
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of stories about the pet tandem alleviating stress. And I think it's all in that balance, Pet Tandem is balancing our system. It's not boosting the immune system or suppressing it, it's balancing it. And the same with the brain health and the brain function. It's just kind of balancing things out. So um, that can make a big difference because the holidays can be stressful. They all feed off of our stress,
That's true.
and people are stressed. And so if we can help to calm that down, that keeps their gut healthier, which keeps their whole body healthier. And it's that whole cycle.
It reminds me, yesterday I hosted a like a facial skincare event, and I broke before anybody was coming. I was just trying to get everything together, and a big bottle of salad dressing fell out the top of the cabinet onto the hardwood floor, and I was like, oh, and it was oil everywhere and glass everywhere.
Oh no.
And I felt like crying, right? And I was like so mad and stressed. And my dogs noticed it. Like they came around me, and I'm like, no, you can't be here. But they knew something was wrong. And so
Mhm.
then I had to shift that energy, which
That's
I
right.
did. And I started laughing. So I was like, what else am I going to do? So, and
Yep.
tis the season for a lot of different emotions, right?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And you're right. I can tell sometimes when I'm working and I get really stressed, the dog is right there. And that just makes me more stressed because she's bugging me and she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And it's like, go away. But yeah, she can tell from across the room. She knows when I'm frustrated. And so I have to, it's a good reminder for us, right?
It is.
Sometimes we don't pay attention to our own emotions. And so the dog is reminding us, okay, take a deep breath and kind of relax.
Deep breath and pick up the dog and breathe and
Yes.
the dog.
Yes,
So,
yes, because that's a great way to relax you for sure.
absolutely. Well, Dr. Evelyn Cass, thank you. If people want to find you, you're on Instagram and Facebook. Want to tell
Yes.
them how to find you?
It's at Pet Nutrition Doctor, and the website is petnutritiondoctor.com. You can reach out. There's a contact page there, so if you have any questions, you can absolutely reach out to me from there. And I'd love to hear from you.
Yes, I've texted her like late at night. Not that you should do that, but I. So
And that's the thing. My email, I give everybody my email address, and so people do reach out to me, and I try and respond the same day. Sometimes it takes 24 hours, but it's a big part of what I do as a holistic veterinarian. We're looking at things a little bit differently,
Mhm.
and I would rather know when something is going wrong. I don't want to wait until it really gets bad. I'd rather answer that question really quick so that we can nip it in the bud. And if we need to get on the phone and talk, then that's fine. We'll do that. But most of the time, we can just kind of balance things out with just a quick email. So, and I've got a couple of different plans that make it really easy for people so that they can reach out to me whenever they need to.
That's wonderful. And what is your email?
It is Pet Nutrition Doctor. So it's petnutritiondr@gmail.com.
Perfect. Dr. Cass, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Marisa.
everybody,
You
for
as
joining.
well.
Happy holidays to everyone, and be safe.
Happy holidays, everybody.